Hi there, it's Mark, and welcome to Book Ramble. If you're new, very much welcome, and hopefully you'll come again. But to be notified of the videos that come out, please consider subscribing and press the notification bell. Thank you very much. It does mean a lot to the channel. And if you're a returning subscriber, Cade Mila Foucher, it's great to have you here. John at Must Read More, the Quick to Judge Challenge. It was created by Ali Rizdal and revived by Jess Bookgirl TV. I'll put their links in the description, as well as John. John's Must Read More. Excellent channel. Thank you, John. And this is actually something that I would normally shy away from because I am being forced to do a thing that I don't do. Rank books and then do a TBR. I just don't do them. The TBR mainly because to say I'm going to read something at the speed I read, that could be 5 years down the line. And it doesn't vibe with me to give a score for books because they're all different. But this is, I think, is going to be fun. And there are 4 questions. Basically, I have to choose 5 to 10 books from the shelves that I've not read. I read the first paragraph of every book, rank the books based on the first paragraphs, which I don't like, and add your highest ranked book to your upcoming TBR. So, interestingly, they're all going to be TBR. That's why I bought them. I'll go through them in turn. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6. And they have different things about them. I'll read from the beginning, the chapter, and I think one of them is particularly long, but there you go. And then I'll put them in order, show the order I've put them in, and then which one I'll do first on my fictitious TBR. So, at the top, Book of Longing, Leonard Cohen. It's one of these really well illustrated throughout. I can't show that picture. And it's just very short. I don't know if there were song lyrics or just jottings. It tends to be poetical. So I'm going to start at the first. I can't make the hills. The system is shot. I'm living on pills, for which I thank God. Do I get enough from there? I'll carry on. I followed the course from chaos to art. Desire the horse, depression the cart. Okay. The Book of Longing by Leonard Cohen. Casino Royale by Ian Fleming. Read this before. Interesting book, but I'm wanting to do it again for the channel. Starts off chapter 1, The Secret Agent. So this is the first ever time that we come across the idea of Bond. Scent and smoke and sweat. Oh, alliteration. I'll do that again. The scent and smoke and sweat of a casino are nauseating at 3 in the morning. Great start. Then the soul erosion produced by high gambling, a compost of greed and fear and nervous tension, becomes unbearable, and the senses awake and revolt from it. I'm not going to tell you which order I'm putting the books, but that's that one. The Fall, Albert Camus. I got it for $1 in a thrift shop. $1! Shouldn't be allowed. Quite a big one. And again, it would have been translated from the French. It is quite a long paragraph. Okay, that's the rules. I shall read it out. May I, monsieur, offer my services without running the risk of intruding? I fear you may not be able to make yourself understood by the worthy gorilla who presides over the fate of this establishment. In fact, he speaks nothing but Dutch. Unless you authorize me to plead your case, he will not guess that you want gin. There. I dare hope he understood me. That nod must mean that he yields to my arguments. He's on the move. Indeed, he is making haste with a sort of careful deliberateness. You are lucky. He didn't grunt. When he refuses to serve someone, he merely grunts. No one insists. Being master of one's moods is the privilege of the larger animals. Now, I shall withdraw, monsieur, happy to have been of help to you. Thank you. I'd accept if I were sure of not being a nuisance. You are too kind. Then I shall bring my glass over beside yours. Okay. Let's put this in some kind of... I don't know whether it's my prejudice coming through, but it's Albert Camus. Oh, I'm a poet and I didn't know it. Okay, that's in some order. Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe. Considered one of the great books of the year it came out. And it was first published in 1959. Chapter 1. Okay, I have no idea what's happening here, but I'm just going to read it. And I apologise for anybody who's Nigerian and I mispronounce these words. Okonkwo was well known throughout the 9 villages and even beyond. His fame rested on solid personal achievements. As a young man of 18, he had brought honour to his village by throwing Amalinse the cat. Amalinse was the great wrestler who for 7 years was unbeaten from Umuofia to Mabino. He was called the cat because his back would never touch the earth. It was this man that Okonkwo threw in a fight which the old men agreed was one of the fiercest since the founder of their town engaged a spirit of the wild for 7 days and 7 nights. Okay. Let me just look at what I've got here and where I'm going to put it. Again, value judgment. I've got 2 more to go. The Watchman. Just found this. And this is $17.48 down from $20. Buy one, get the second off. But this is Rorschach. And can you see his face? The Rorschach thing's moving. Oh. And it's like a velvet touch. I've read this 4 or 5 times, but I don't think I've read it in at least 25 years. It's quite exceptional. The artwork. And of course, there's a lot of text, so where do I begin? The first chapter, I think I'll do that line of images. Rorschach's Journal, October 12th, 1985. I was on HMS Charybdis then. Dog carcass and alley this morning. Tire tread on burst stomach. This city is afraid of me. I have seen its true face. And there's the image to the left. Ooh. The streets are extended gutters, and the gutters are full of blood, and when the drains finally scab over, all the vermin will drown. The accumulated filth of all their sex and murder will foam up about their waists, and all the whores and politicians will look up and shout, "Save us!" And I'll look down and whisper, "No." Wonderful. The Life and Times of William Shakespeare, being an account of this gentleman and poet in his own words. And this is a find in a thrift shop. And inside, you get all this and like a letter in here. In fact, perhaps that should be the first bit I read, so I'm going to have to get this out now. Ah, okay, it doesn't say much. It's Shakespeare's characters. There you go. The name that jumped out at me there was Miranda from The Tempest. And a little thing here. 15 February 1613. My child, I am coming home, and to stay this time. Thou marvellest at my words, I know. I have spoken of it for nigh 10 years now, and you and mother grow weary of my promises. But I speak true as Troilus, and you will see me before Shrovetide, so that we may share our Lenten pancakes together. Quote, now my charms are all overthrown. End quote. Thus begins the end of The Tempest, my last play. My Prospero shall speak these lines, and more when I finish them, as he retires from his island, abandons his magical arts, and returns to his life at home. I write this missive to you, with the self-same words ringing in my ears. Oh, there's a bit more. I've read too much already. And it carries on to the back. That's really well done. Just as a little aside, I've already recorded a couple of episodes back, probably a month back now, about Brewer's phrase and fable and how we're losing all these wonderful phrases. So this is really well done, beautifully well done. Right, so now I've got to put these in order. I'll be back in a minute. This is what I put. And the first one I'm going to do, looking at the camera and trying to work out where my finger is the Watchman. That will be first on my fictitious TBR, and I think I'm going to also put that in as well to do. That definitely deserves an episode on its own. But like I say, they're all there anyway to be read. And in fact, I think I'm going to finish off, and forgive me, Ali and Jess and John, because this actually isn't part of the tag. I'm just going to put these away and then explain some other books. I'm looking at 3 other books that are effectively going to be read, TBR'd, and then a couple here which I'm about to do. I think this is going to be the order in which the next lot come out, but don't hold me to that. So I'm going to record shortly Crito, one of Plato's plays. It's the one after his trial and he could have run away, and he's having a conversation with an old mate of his, Crito, saying why he doesn't. That's going to be recorded shortly. I'm going to do another one of Judge Dredd, and it's about the robot wars. And bear in mind, it was written in the 70s, robots turning against humankind. And then this one I'll be talking about, Corner of a Foreign Field, which is about poetry by men and women. Women are often overlooked when it comes to poetry of World War I. Going to do an episode on that. And now I'm going to show 3 that I'm currently going through in the order I think I'll finish them. This one is going to be first, and it's the first one, supposedly, he wrote. King John. And strangely, I got the book because it's big and bold, and I thought it would be useful, and it is to read, but it's so big, I'm hardly picking it up. It's like, it lingers there, so I'm taking far too long to read about John, but I'm nearly there now. Very odd play. Then I think by the time I get to come to do that, I'll be talking about the first one in the series of Amber, which is 9 Princes in Amber. If you know the story, it's where the protagonist doesn't fully know what's happening. He's recovered, or recovering his memory. And then these strange creatures have just attacked a house in which he is in. This is a slow read. It's the picture of Dorian Gray. And again, so much to process. It's quite a long story, so I don't know if I'll get that done in time. But it's going to be on the TBR along with these 2. So, have I missed anything out with the prompts? Invite others to do this challenge as well. I'm going to choose 3. There are channels I think may not have done tags specifically. There's one I know in mind. I'm going to tag, and a couple of others, so watch out for that. John, thank you for the tag. It's just wonderful, and thank you for listening. Ta-ta for now.